The Starfield modding community has been hard at work since Bethesda released their creation kit for Starfield, so my plan for today will be to check out some more of the latest and greatest mods out there, including mods that will introduce a couple of new player homes with some really awesome features, a mod that will add some interesting new jobs to Starfield's mission boards, and even a mod that implements an exciting new look for one of the largest settlements across the Milky Way. All the mods that we'll be checking out today will be available from Nexus mods, but if you're on Xbox and maybe even PS5 soon, many of these mods will also be available from Creations, so make sure you stay tuned. If you're new to the channel or to modding Bethesda games, make sure you subscribe for more Starfield content, and if you enjoy the video then please remember to leave a like, and you can now even join the Outdoor Builders Club and become an official member. But thank you guys so much for all your support so far, but for now let's jump back into the video and check out some of the latest Starfield mods. New Atlantis is the first major city that you get to visit in Starfield, and I personally was always a little bit disappointed with it. The city isn't really much of a city and is kind of just a large settlement because it doesn't have enough skyscrapers stretching across the skyline, there are zero roads for you and the NPCs to drive on, and there is just an overwhelming lack of atmosphere for what is meant to be the capital of the Milky Way. But today we will see if we can improve most of that with the mod New Atlantis Awaits by Checker90. This mod will completely overhaul your New Atlantis and insert a bunch of new locations into the city. It increases the number of people bumbling about the place and entirely changes the whole feel of New Atlantis with a list of minor changes that have a massive impact. For starters, there will be a lot more buildings and skyscrapers dotted around New Atlantis, and this will help to make it feel like a much larger city and much more densely populated. The new buildings work really well to make the skyline more impressive and imposing. It now looks more like what you'd expect to see from a futuristic settlement. Down at the spaceport there are some really cool new areas for you to find, and you'll likely notice that there are more workers now employed by the spaceport, and when you first touch down in town it will appear to be much more busier than usual. This mod also features a brand new river that feeds directly into the city's smaller body of water, which will now have its very own industrial dockyard too. But while this mod won't actually add any new drivable roads, it will introduce a plethora of new pathways and walkways for you and the NPCs to make their way around the city. You can even find a couple of completely new sections of the map, like behind the residential district, which features the newest bar in town called Checkers Cup and some giant new statues. Or behind the museum in the Mast district, you can find a nice peaceful promenade that overlooks the water. This mod is technically still in its beta version, so some of these new locations may seem a bit bare, but the mod author has said that they have some really big plans for the mod, like fleshing out some of the new buildings and introducing more locations with names and map markers. I personally would like to see New Atlantis get its very own high rollers casino and hotel with gambling and mini games, but that's probably a whole mod in itself and might be a bit too much to ask for. But I think this mod is a really nice facelift for New Atlantis and a very refreshing change for the city. From all the tiny details to the massive skyscrapers, I feel it just works nicely to make New Atlantis feel more like a realistic city. And even though this New Atlantis does look pretty fantastic, especially at night time, you can decide to take it even further by also adding the mod Rabbit's Real Lights New Atlantis Awaits by Rabbit Does Stuff. We've checked out some of Rabbit's awesome lighting overhauls in the past, so it's no surprise that this mod will add around 100 different hand-placed light sources to realistic and sensible locations around the city. These brand new light sources will work to make New Atlantis and the new locations added by Checker feel much more alive during the nighttime. And this mod will also add lights in places where you'd expect to see them IRL, like reflecting off of a big screen or lighting the way across all of the city's footpaths. You will need to have Rabbit's original New Atlantis mod installed, and this one will just work as an add-on to accommodate Checker's new mod. But together they labour to create an atmosphere that never sleeps and turn your New Atlantis streets from dark and boring to well lit and realistic. However, this mod is also a work in progress and will likely receive updates along with the New Atlantis Awaits mod, so I'm sure there's a lot of exciting things to come from both of them. But unfortunately at the moment Rabbit's Lighting Hall is only available on PC, but you can grab the New Atlantis Awaits mod from the Nexus page and Creations, so you can try out the new city on both PC and Xbox. If you're out on a bar crawl in the settled systems, you're likely to come across these standard mission boards where you can choose from a small number of different jobs which will earn you a handful of credits. But after you've completed a few of these quests, they soon start to feel very repetitive and the entire mechanic just feels kinda half-baked, as there really isn't a whole lot of variety. But with the mod Dark Universe Overtime, we're able to expand the number of jobs available at the mission boards by adding over 300 new activities for you to complete across the Milky Way. This mod will encourage more role playing in your Starfield by offering you a much larger pool of new jobs to choose from. These can range from epic space battles to simple delivery jobs, manufacturing stuff to repairing broken satellites, and much more. So if you wanted to roleplay as a space trucker, be the savior of the settled systems, or simply act out the role of an interstellar handyman, you'll now have many more varied jobs for you to tick off. With this mod, your mission boards will now be completely full of brand new activities for you to try, and they will even take place at more different POIs than in the vanilla. You can now receive jobs that will take place in caves, colonies, and space, and not always in an abandoned research facility or a deserted UC base. This helps to keep the missions feeling fresh and removes a lot of the repetitiveness you face from these kind of jobs in vanilla Starfield. When you're out completing these activities, whether you're just delivering some goods or taking out a pirate's stash, you may come across some mission data slates. These slates can send you on new quests and help you naturally chain these simple jobs together so you can explore and start new jobs much more organically. I really like this mod as it adds a lot more depth to Starfield's mission boards that we were probably never going to get from Bethesda, but it does it in a way that just integrates it into the game perfectly. And if you'd like to try Dark Universe Overtime in your game, then you can find it on Nexus mods or on Creations, so it can be played on both PC and Xbox. Starfield's Outpost system gives its players a great way to leave their mark on any planet they come across and build their own working settlement to acquire new resources. However, it does leave a lot to be desired in my opinion, and the limitations when building your outpost can be very irritating. For example, in vanilla, you are unable to place doors anywhere in your outpost, only airlocks, which really doesn't make much sense if you're on a habitable world. The building height is also very limited, and the choice of habs you can pick from are pretty uninspiring because you just don't have many options. But that's why we have the mod Betamax's Outpost system from Betamax 76. This settlement add-on will include a whole list of brand new features and assets which you can now use to build the perfect outpost. In the build menu, you will now see a new tab where you will find many awesome things for you to build, like concrete foundations, fences and walls, and there are now even more pre-built habs for you to choose from. These brand new habs will include much more variety than the vanilla options, and the best part about it is you can finally add doors to your outpost. So if you're building your new base on a planet that has a breathable atmosphere, you are no longer forced to build airlocks to access your facilities. You'll also be able to make use of the new bulldoze tool, which was originally meant to be in the game, and this will allow you to clear landscape of any unwanted rocks or trees and grant you a fresh clean slate to build on. Foundations are now very much a thing as well, and you can finally build an actual clean looking settlement, but be warned because the object snapping is pretty infuriating. I personally found it easiest to switch from build mode to placement mode and then back, and then things would mostly snap into the right position. I do think this mod is fantastic as it gives you a lot more freedom to make the outpost you've always wanted. So you've got the outpost of your dreams, and it's now time to furnish it, and we're going to be sticking with Betamax for this one too, with the mod Betamax's Functional Decor. This mod will add well over 300 unique functional decorations for your outpost, enabling you to fully kit out your base however you'd like, but now with useful stuff instead of just static objects. With this mod installed, you will now have the ability to furnish your outpost with various new bar decorations, functioning kitchen stuff, and a whole bunch of brand new display choices to show off all of your gear. Functional Decor will also combine and expand on 5 of Betamax's previous mods, like vending machines, which will add placeable vending machines to your game, working water coolers, which will turn standard water coolers into actual working ones with multiple different color options, and outpost crew station chairs, which will make a variant of every vanilla chair, making them applicable as a crew station, so you won't need to put up with that ugly desk anymore. But not only that, you will also be able to place a load of other functioning decorations, like working stoves and kitchen appliances, a toilet that you can sit on, and even a jukebox that can be turned on and play some of the in-game music. If you like building outposts and you are already sold on Betamax's Outpost system, then I definitely recommend you try this mod out too, and thankfully you can find both of them on the Nexus page or on Creations, so you're able to play both of them on either PC or Xbox. For me personally, Starfield is seriously lacking when it comes to firepower, which is why last episode we checked out a couple of new weapon mods, including one that was inspired by Beretta ARX, which is obviously a very popular weapon choice because this episode we're also going to be checking out the mod ARX 15 by JK93. With this mod you will now be able to get your hands on this brand new rifle and wreak havoc on anyone or anything stupid enough to get in your way. This futuristic AR will be inserted into your Starfield leveled lists, so you're now able to purchase this awesome gun from any weapon store under the UC or from Frank and Sticks at Neon Tactical, and you may even find it in the inventory of your downed enemies, so there are plenty of ways for you to actually obtain this weapon. It does only come with one skin at the moment, but the level of detail on this rifle is pretty ridiculous, so I'll let them off for just having the one skin. It does however come with plenty of unique attachments and mods that you can apply at the weapons workbench to make it even more deadly. This AR is really cool and I really like the way it looks. I personally think that the design and textures for this weapon fit perfectly into the Starfield universe. And speaking of things that fit well in the game, game, this next mod is Star Trek The Original Series gear by Redone. This mod will introduce the Starfleet uniform from the original series and add it into your Starfield. You can now dress yourself or kit out your crew in either the red, blue or gold uniform from the 60s. Just be careful about who you give the red shirt to. To actually get hold of these iconic outfits, you will need to craft them at an industrial workbench, so you won't have to hunt around the Milky Way trying to find the right vendor. You can just make them at home and it won't actually cost you anything. This mod will also feature an awesome unique Star Trek phaser, so you can really feel like you're actually part of Starfleet. The phaser itself is nothing to write home about when it comes to power, but it is a very nice touch. And all you Trekkies out there will now finally have a few different outfits to show off in game, because there really isn't too many Star Trek mods out there. And Redone is obviously far better known for their Star Wars mods. However, it is nice to see Star Trek getting a little love from the modders as well. And speaking about Star Wars mods, this next armor mod is Star Wars Havoc Squad from Bonepunk. This mod will add a brand new Havoc Trooper armor set featuring a new spacesuit, 2 awesome Trooper helmets, and a backpack that can be converted into a boost pack. The design for this suit comes from the Star Wars Old Republic game, and like most Star Wars mod, it fits pretty well into Starfield. This armor mod comes with a buttload of different skins and attachments that you can implement at a spacesuit workbench. You have the ability to customize your armor with over 45 custom skins of every color and design you could possibly think of, and the attachments that you can add to almost every aspect of the armor are just incredible and a really nice detail you could choose to add to your suit. However, the majority of them are only for cosmetics, except of course the jetpack attachment you can apply to your backpack. This will transform it from a standard pack to one with some boost capabilities. I think this armor is great and I love the amount of customization that comes with this mod, but unfortunately the ARX we checked out first is only available on PC. However, both Star Trek gear and the Havoc Squad armor can be found on the Nexus and on Creations, so you can play both of them on PC and Xbox. If you're a member of the Trackers Alliance faction, then you may have wondered what might be behind this cordoned off door in their HQ. In vanilla it appears to be just a bit of set decoration, but with the mod Trackers Alliance HQ Player Room by Nemesis Downfall, you will now discover a brand new place to call your own inside the guild's headquarters. This player room can be found downstairs and can be used once you've completed the intro bounty mission for the Trackers Alliance. Inside this quaint little room you can find some humble furnishings like a bed, a desk and some storage space, but don't let the basic layout fool you, because this mod has a few awesome features you might not have noticed. For example, the terminal that you can find at your desk will display a number of different bounty hunter achievements, including the amount of bounties you've completed and whether or not you brought them in warm or cold. For storing your stuff, you will have access to a couple lockers and a storage crate that can hold up to 250 kg. You'll also have a couple of weapon racks to show off your favorite guns and a mannequin that has a functioning lever behind it, which will change it from male to female. I really like this mod, and if you're role playing as a bounty hunter, then this will definitely fit into your load order very nicely. However, if you're not a member of the Trackers Alliance but would still like to own a furnished player home with some amazing new features, then you should also check out the mod Mercury Penthouse Redone, which again is from Nemesis Downfall. This mod will completely transform the penthouse apartment that you can buy in New Atlantis, and it will now come with some incredible new additions. For starters, your new home will now come fully furnished with some very modern and nicely placed furniture, and as you enter the apartment you will see a large open plan dining area, a stylized living room and a nicely designed kitchen with working appliances. Your new master bedroom will come fully kitted out, and you will even have a personal office with loads of displays for you to flaunt all the gear that you've acquired. You will also have a spare bedroom for any of your followers, but it is also possible to disable all the furniture, so you can customize the room however you'd like. You will also find a unique crafting room that has miniature versions of each different crafting station, so you won't have to take up loads of space with the bulky workbenches anymore. But this mod does way more than just simply furnish your home, as it will also implement a whole range of brand new features. For example, the mirrors located in the bedroom or bathroom can now be used to change your appearance. Using the shower will now give you a 5% XP boost for 30 minutes, and all your storage boxes will be linked to each other and your crafting stations, so you won't have to run around gathering resources when crafting. Another really cool feature that comes with this mod is the My Journey board, which will track your progress throughout the main faction quest lines. If you'd like to own the Mercury Penthouse or Trackers Alliance room in your game, then thankfully you can grab both of them from either Nexus mods or Creations, so they can both be used on PC or Xbox. And that is our list of some of the latest and greatest Starfield mods available. I hope you guys found something you'd like to check out for yourself, and remember to endorse any of the mods that you enjoy. That being said, if you enjoyed this video, then please remember to leave a like, and if you want to see more Starfield content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But that'll be it from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.
You won't regret it.
Come on, dance! Go crazy!
Get some Aurora and let loose. Yeah?